Welcome to our rolling news coverage. We will bring you the latest developments on the most pressing stories around the world. Straight ahead.
Event number 1. The U.S. and Israel continue intense missile strikes on the Iranian capital. Event number 2. NATO air defense system intercepts Iran's ballistic missiles in Turkey. 6. Event number 3. Controversy between the U.S. and Iran over the sinking of an Iranian warship in the Indian Ocean.
And now, for the details.
The U.S. and Israeli air forces have continued intense missile strikes on the capital, Tehran, and other areas across Iran in the second week of the war. Videos circulating on social media show multiple explosions and fires in various parts of the city. One video captures the aftermath of a precision IDF strike on Tehran, with thick plumes of smoke rising over the city's skyline following the explosions. Major explosions were also reported in the Quds district near Tehran, immediately followed by intense fires breaking out. Missiles struck the Carden building in Tehran. Local residents reported hearing several extremely powerful explosions at the scene. Another airstrike was also carried out, targeting Kerman airport in southeastern Iran. The Tasnim news agency quoted a regional official as saying the attack damaged part of the airport's infrastructure. According to Israeli media, 2 old aircraft on the training ground and 4 fuel tanks at the airport were also destroyed. According to witnesses, multiple explosions were heard at several locations in the area, and smoke was seen rising from many parts of the city. The joint U.S.-Israeli campaign, which began on February 28th, has hit several key targets in the capital, Tehran, killing 40 people. However, these operations were not limited to Tehran. Oil depots, refineries, and other infrastructure around the capital and in neighboring provinces were also attacked, causing massive fires and thick smog to cover urban areas. The Ministry of Defense said that NATO air defense forces successfully intercepted a ballistic missile fired from Iran that entered Turkish airspace on Monday. This is the second such incident since the war began. According to the Associated Press, the ministry's statement said missile debris landed in the southern Turkish province of Gaziantep. No casualties or property damage were reported. The ministry stressed that while Turkey values peaceful and stable relations in the region, it will not hesitate to act if its territory or airspace is threatened. The United States and Iran have given conflicting accounts of the sinking of an Iranian warship in the Indian Ocean last week. Washington disputes Tehran's claim that the vessel was unarmed, while Iranian officials maintain it was on a non-combat mission. According to the Associated Press, the U.S. Indo-Pacific Command on Sunday rejected Iran's claim that the warship Iris Dina was unarmed when it was sunk in a submarine attack in international waters off the coast of Sri Lanka on March 4th. In a statement on the social media platform X, Indopacom called Iran's assertion that the ship was unarmed categorically false. The response came after strong protests from Tehran, which has repeatedly argued that the warship had no self-defense capabilities and was returning from participating in a naval exercise. An anonymous Indian Navy official said the Iranian ship was not completely unarmed and had in fact participated in drills with warships from other nations. However, some experts suggest that visiting ships at such events typically do not carry a full combat load of ammunition unless live fire drills are planned. They say that even during the at-sea phase of exercises, ships usually carry only a strictly controlled amount of ammunition for specific drills. Rahul Bedi, an independent defense analyst in India, said the ship might have used some limited, non-lethal munitions during the exercise, but protocol requires participating vessels to be in an unarmed state. A prerequisite for participating in such a fleet review or ceremony is that the ship must arrive in an unarmed state. That is the Indian Navy's regulation, and also the precedent for most navies when hosting similar fleet reviews, Bedi said. Iran's Deputy Foreign Minister Syed Khatibzadeh said on Friday that the warship, sunk by an American torpedo, was carrying no weapons and accused Washington of targeting a ceremonial vessel. That vessel was participating in an international exercise at the invitation of our Indian friends. It was purely ceremonial, carried no cargo, and was unarmed, he told reporters in New Delhi. According to U.S. and Iranian officials, the Iris Dina was sunk on March 4th in the Indian Ocean near Sri Lanka after being hit by a torpedo fired from a U.S. submarine. The Sri Lankan Navy rescued 32 sailors and recovered 87 bodies. U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth described the Iris Dina as a trophy and said it died a quiet death. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi described the attack as an act of maritime brutality and stressed that it was a guest of the Indian Navy. The dispute over whether the ship was armed has heightened tensions and raised questions about whether it was truly operating in a non-combat role when it was attacked. India's Ministry of Defense said in a post-exercise statement that participating ships also conducted live firings against surface and anti-aircraft targets. The sinking of this warship indicates that the U.S.-Israeli conflict with Iran is expanding beyond the Middle East region.